You barely get out of bed when your mom calls you. Rise and shine, chunky monkey. Time for breakfast, she yells. You always hated when your mom said that little name for you, that she thought was so cute. Chunky monkey yourself, you moan through your drooling lips. You have a hard time getting to your clothes. The chunky monkey that you are struggles just to put socks on. You go downstairs to eat your manly portion of food, throwing your plate aside as you get on your bending bike to head for school. You're a big, tough guy there, always picking on the little kids, stealing their lunch money to fill up your gluttonous needs. After school ends, you head to the park with your struggling bike, looking for more kids to pick on. One kid stands up against you by tossing a rock at you. It hits your belly, bouncing off the fleshy force field without any pain. The kid ran as you chased him. After a bit of running, you gasp for air like a fish out of water. Hours pass, and night sets in. You realize that you took too long to find your prey. You get on your bike and start heading home. Streetlights are your only source of visibility. You hear your bike chain finally pop from all the weight it had to endure. Lifetime warranty my ass, you thought. You had no choice but to walk home, dragging your only means of transportation. The streetlights are fewer now. Streams of sweat pour down your body. You worry when you start hearing a noise in the shadows. The nearby bushes shake, with enough force to see newly green leaves fall on the sidewalk. A cat's vicious screaming came from the bushes, along with the growl of something you've never heard before. Seconds later, the bushes become still. Something is thrown just beside your feet. Half a cat's body laid on the street, its blood flowing on the white Nikes you had just got from stealing your mother's money. You leave the bike behind, running to the best of your ability. The streetlights show the shadow of a creature chasing after you. You dare not look to your left out of sheer fear. You keep your sights on the right side of the road, where you can see the shadow of the beast. You are almost home. You looked up for a second to see the salvation of your humble abode, only to look to your right and notice the shadow is gone. The only shadow you see is your white one, in a stance of triumph. Strangely enough, you hear a growl to your left. As you turn in that direction, you see the long, skinny figure of a creature looking back at you. Its insect-filled eyes stare at you with an intensity as its narrow lips open wide. It revealed rows of sharp teeth embedded with the flesh of the cat, along with other assorted animals. Silly chunky monkey, your shadow hid the creature's shadow pretty well. That night, a stomach was pretty full, and it wasn't yours for a change. Munching was the noise you made as you chew your wonderful sandwich. The roast beef wasn't as good before as it was now. Sitting in your favorite little restaurant, you feel at ease seeing time pass just outside the glass doors. The wonderful sandwich took your taste buds on a journey around your mind, traveling to old times of nostalgia, greeted by old loves and family missed. You savor every morsel of the extravagant meat, just barely hanging from the bread. Yes, this is indeed a wonderful day. As you take another satisfied bite, you look around the small kitchen window to compliment the chef. Good old Mr. Watson had maintained this restaurant for years. You knew him since you were a little boy. Just as you peered into the small kitchen window, an iron lid quickly closed shut. For a second, you thought you saw something pretty strange, but the wonderful sandwich had been playing tricks on your mind. You pay for your lunch with a smile, finally exiting the glass doors to head on home. Mr. Watson let out a sigh of relief, rubbing the sweat from his forehead after almost getting caught, slicing his cheating wife's flesh on the automatic meat slicer. A wonderful sandwich indeed. I finally arrived at my new country home after leaving the busy city. My parents were unpacking the moving boxes, which allowed me some time to look around my new property. It's what you would expect from a place far away from civilization. The green from the grass and trees began fading to a light brown from the summer sun's heat. The warm breeze picked up the dust from the dirt road, swirling into the distance. Up ahead near the woods, a boy looking just about my age was playing by himself. Maybe this could be my chance to make a new friend out here, I thought. So like any other innocent kid, I went to go say hi. He said hi back, and we talked for what seemed like hours. His name was Jacob. The sun lowered a bit, showing golden rays of light hitting a field of dry wheat, swaying with the now cooling winds. Jacob and I decided to have some fun for a bit. We played tag, a little football, and some hopscotch. He then asked if we can play hide and seek. I couldn't see why not. I loved hide and seek. I counted to 20 as Jacob began to hide. His footsteps crunched up the dry leaves, allowing me to hear the direction he was going. I finished counting and began to follow the distant crunching sounds. The daylight beamed through the corners of the trees. It almost seemed like I was on a quest to save my new friend from a menacing enemy. The kind that you see in books of fairy tales, stories that took you away from the troubling truths of reality. I had caught up with the crunching sounds. However, I couldn't see Jacob. I looked around the corners of the small hills, around tree stumps, and even looked up the trees themselves. They say never to look up while walking on unfamiliar ground. I tripped on a tree root, landing near a ditch covered in sticks. Here was where I found Jacob. Well, his long decayed corpse anyway. I ran home to my parents, letting them know exactly what I found. They quickly called the police, and within weeks of careful investigation, arrested Jacob's father, who lived just a mile away from us. It turns out that Jacob's dad killed him because he reminded his dad too much of his cheating mom. Jacob's dad came home one night drunk and beat him to death with a liquor bottle. My parents and I attended the funeral out of respect for an innocent boy taken before his time. I never told them how I found Jacob's body. Years later, I still never forgot what happened that summer afternoon, especially since I still play with Jacob's ghost to this very day. Hey, everyone needs a best friend, right?